This is a speaking evaluation tutorial. As you can see, I'm all in green because it's St. Patrick's Day today. So I'm going to share my screen straight away and not take off the sound, excuse me. Okie dokie. So when we're doing a speaking evaluation, I'll take any of our coaching students. I think I can collapse that and that won't bother my screen. And I can collapse that. Okay, so who have we got recently that we've had to do a speaking evaluation for? Francis Isidoro, let's hope that he had a speaking evaluation. So in every coaching student file, anybody that you have, we have a whole load of regulamentary documents that we're obliged to have for them, being a certified training center. They're numbered for ease of use. The reason that here these are folders is that in advance we create a template for their fiche d'évaluation, as it were, or fiche d'analyse, with all the different levels that they might use. And then when we've tested them and we decide on which level, we'll take one of these, put it into their file and bin the rest. The same for the programme de formation. We've got type model documents. And when we've decided which level they're working on, then this one will be taken in and the rest binned. Now, excuse me, let's have a look. The speaking evaluation looks like this, and visibly Elizabeth didn't have hers for whatever reason. Let me open this up nice and big. And here, you have notes to help you get through your speaking evaluation. Now, if I open these notes, you will, there's a few admin things at the very beginning. In speaking evaluation, what are we looking for? We're looking for their pronunciation, particularly the long vowels, A, the diphthongs, and the accents, and of course the TH. We're looking for the verbs. Do they know how to use the present simple in the third person singular? He goes, she buys, she walks. Can they use the present simple as opposed to the present continuous? Do they know the difference? Obviously, then we'll go on to the past simple. And then in vocabulary, we need to know, first of all, do they have the high frequency vocabulary for their body, face, clothes, family, house, and immediate vocabulary environment? And then we will try and go on to less high frequency vocabulary, for instance, maybe describing a picture or going further beyond their immediate lives. All right, these are the things to look out for, but we would be wanting to know whether they can manage. Okay, so we have some typical questions that you're going to ask them, which will help us cover all of these points. Now, our speaking evaluation, how do we fill it in? When we go through the questions, you'll put in obviously their name, the date you did the evaluation, and the test that you gave them when they did a written test. And generally we do the pre-intermediate written test as it's bang in the middle of all the levels. So if they do a high score, then we'll know that we need to put them well up. And if they do a very, very low score, we can either put them on beginner or elementary. So it's the first column is always, is communication effective? Even if it's full of mistakes, do they make themselves understood? Can they understand you with strategies? So we don't mind about the mistakes, but are they getting themselves understood? You can, excuse me, you can take off a mark each time a person really, they say something that is really not clear, or that they really can't understand you and you just can't get through to them. And so then out of 5, of a potential 5, you will give them how many marks are left. All right, these are marks to take away. Here we have grammar and vocabulary. This is a little bit more precise. You would write down the mistakes they make. And we expect to get a maximum of 5 mistakes, we can say. Now, I think in this one, we take a half a point for each mistakes because there are likely to be a lot more mistakes. And so you can write 2 items per line for each mistake they make. She have 16 years old, she go to England, whatever. You're going to write all these mistakes down. Yesterday I go to London. Any of these mistakes, write them down, take a half point off, and that will give you a total here out of 5 that's left. In pronunciation, it's the same. We're taking a half point off for each badly pronounced word or syllable. So again, it might be Monday. Typically, they say Monday rather than Monday. Round A's are typically difficult, the TH, all of the examples, but different ones, not the same mistake each time, but all different examples. Take off a half point for each one, giving you a total here out of 5 that's left. And that will give you a total of your score out of 15. This mark, when I collapse this page exists as a sheet, a paper copy in the institutes that you can write on and scribble on if you're more comfortable writing very quickly your thoughts, your comments, and then typing it up afterwards. I personally always have my computer with me, so I do it. I warn the student that I'm going to be taking notes on my computer so that they're not disturbed by that. And then I put it straight into my computer as I try to limit admin outside of my lessons. So I'm going to collapse that, and I'm going to go back to our questions. And these are the questions that will typically get them to expose their knowledge, ask them to present themselves, their family, ask them to say how old, tell them what you want to, how old, where do you live, do you have brothers and sisters, what do they look like, what do they like doing, what are their hobbies, what are your hobbies? And then that's the second question, ask them about their hobbies. That's right. Again, we're going to push them towards a third person singular. And then the bigger vocabulary that they can do, that they can master. Question 6, ask them to describe their usual routine, their usual habit, and ask them to go into detail. What time they get up, what time they have lunch, what time they shower, do they have breakfast before their shower, after their shower. Ask them to go through as much detail as possible on their day. And of course, this is going to test the present simple and whether they understand the difference between the present simple and the present continuous. And it will also help you with vocabulary. You'll have vocabulary errors in there if they don't know words for shower and things like that, or have breakfast. And then ask them to describe their favorite holiday ever, which will get us to find out whether they can master their past simple. And there we go. Thank you very much. Once you've done this speaking evaluation, this will be carried forth into this document here, which is the overall test record. So again, if it hasn't already been filled in, then we will have the person's name here. We know that we're working them off English file generally, and the level that they're going to be working on. And if you don't know yet, because it's at the very, very beginning of their testing, then you can leave that free. Again, the number of hours you probably will know. If it's your student, you'll know how many hours that they've taken. So the entry test is not applicable here, but here you've got the entry test for grammar and vocabulary, and that is the written test. And here your speaking record, the score here will go here out of 15, which will give them a total out of 65. So for instance, I'm pretty sure that yesterday Isabel did Mr. Quenon. I don't know whether she's had a chance to fill it out yet. I hope so, because she did it with him. Speaking evaluation, right. So she has filled it in. That's great. Thank you, Isabel, for that. And she's, yeah, my child is a daughter. Instead of my child has a daughter, it should be my daughter. Has a daughter. I have 100 kilos, oh la la. I passed 4 months in Spain, right? That, right, a bit of pronunciation there. Data, right, we've got pronunciation there. Cat instead of cut, right, we've got some vowels. Interactive communication, she felt that he was very efficient, so that was fine. She only gave him 2 because she's taken away some points for his grammar and vocabulary. Okay, and there we go. And I imagine that Isabel will have carried that onto his test record. And there we go. She has given him, for his written test, that's what he got out of 25 for the grammar and vocabulary, and he got 9 out of 15, which gave him a 51 out of 65 for his entry test. And she has added here that it was the pre-intermediate entry test that we gave him for the written part. There we go. Have fun. Thank you.